Okay, so when I was 21, last semester, senior year at the University of Delaware, everyone I knew, literally everyone I knew, was headed to Key West for spring break, except for me and my roommate, Ron, and this guy named Fish. Otherwise, everyone I knew was headed south to have the time of their lives. I was looking at a week at home with my parents. Even my girlfriend was headed to Key West with a group of her friends that was a subset of everyone I knew. Um, and just to twist the knife a little bit more, I had to drive her to the airport in Philadelphia to drop her off, send her off on her debaucherous journey. So I dropped her off, drove back to campus, which was by now just a sad ghost town. Nobody was around except for me, my roommate Ron, and this guy named Fish. So we sat and commiserated, and then finally Fish, who is a man of few words, he says, let's go. And we're like, go where? And he goes, Key West, let's go. And we're like, now? And he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So less than 2 hours later, the three of us are in a car on I-95 South. We have no plan, even less money. It's a 22-hour drive. We left at Saturday, 5 p.m., went straight through the night, rolled into town 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon. That's pretty good time. I don't want to say we were speeding, but at one point we passed an ambulance that had its lights and sirens on. It had to move over for us. And while the idea of like randomly running into my girlfriend down there was like cool, like stalking her or checking up on her was not even like a thought or part of this at all. After all, also in town, everyone I knew. So this was 1997. No cell phones, no texting, no GPS, barely anything called the internet. The only way I would ever be able to find my girlfriend is to randomly run into her out on Duval Street somewhere, which is exactly what happened within like the first 30 minutes of us getting to town. The very first place we went into, the Margaritaville Cafe, there's my girlfriend sitting with her friends. And I was like, oh, hey, surprise. And she says, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, we didn't want to be left out. We just decided to come down last minute. And she goes, I didn't know you'd be here. And I said, we didn't know we'd be here. It seemed like my surprise cameo was sort of lost on her. And she says, so I didn't come down here to hang out with you. And I was like, yeah, cool. I didn't necessarily come down here to hang out with you, but I wasn't going to be so rude about it. So me and Ron and this guy named Fish, we left back out on Duval Street. We hit every dive bar and saloon up and down the street. And so it seemed did my girlfriend. We could not get away from each other. Every place that she walked into, there I was. Every place that I walked into, there she was. It was repeatedly awkward, but we still tried to manage to have our own separate fun. My fun ended in a hotel room with a girl who was not my girlfriend. I know. My fun ended the next morning when, remember, no cell phones, no texting, no GPS, no Uber. I had to walk hungry and hungover and lost the entire length of the island, a 4-mile walk of shame in the unforgiving Florida sun just to get back to the hotel I was supposed to be staying in. But hey, being 21 and invincible, later that night, we were back out on Duval Street and we headed into Sloppy Joe's where the dance floor was packed with everyone I knew, which included my girlfriend and the girl I hooked up with the night before. And when she saw me, she was like so excited, she came running at me and tried to pick up right where we left off the night before. And I'm like, oh, hey, hi, good to see you too. At which point, Ron and this guy named Fish like leapt into action and created like this wall so that my girlfriend couldn't really see what was going on. Later on, my girlfriend had some extracurriculars of her own, which I wasn't even aware of because like good wingmen, Ron and this guy named Fish leapt into action again with their divider wall there. At the end of the night, it's about 2:30 in the morning, we made the obvious decision to jump in the car and drive back north. So Fish drove all through the night till the morning, all the way up the Florida coast. And when I woke up in the car with Fish at the wheel and his Alice in Chains playing way too loud for that time of day, Fish says to me, so what are you going to do? And I was like, about what? And he goes, The girl. And I was like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. And he says, it's senior year. It's like, it's a lot of girls. It's no time for the rude ones, which I think was his way of saying I might want to consider the single life. So we get back to Delaware after 2,616 miles in the car. And my first order of business, I have to drive to Philadelphia and pick up my girlfriend from the airport. So, and I mean, it was fine. Like we, smiles and hugs, and we joked and told stories about Key West on the drive home, and everything was fine. And it was her birthday, so I had a cake for her. She opened up the presents I had gotten for her. She read the sappy card I had written for her, and then with no fanfare at all, she says, "So I think we should break up." And I said, "I think that's fine." And she's like, "What, really? Like it's fine?" And remembering the advice I got from this guy named Fish, I said, yeah, yeah, yeah. So thank you.